So we will start.
The Matza Mavins.
The Matza Mavins. Hello. Okay, so today, Helene and I are,
Welcome.
thank you. We're going to be preparing some special food for the Passover holiday.
Otherwise known as Pesach.
Right, in Hebrew, and it starts this Saturday evening and goes for 8 days.
The Jewish holidays always start after sundown.
Thank you. I love this. And so we thought we would demo matzo balls, and in my family, it was known by the Yiddish word knedel or knedlach, and that's all I knew. Right.
Knedlach.
So there are a soup dumpling.
The Jewish version of dumpling.
Dumplings, right. And we thought this would be fun. So we're going to do the plant-based version today. And there will be a link to the recipe on the video when it's posted later. Okay. So shall we start? And we thought for those people that really don't know about Passover and are interested, that Helene, because she is the information girl of the century, the librarian. So tell us, Helene, what would you like to share about the holiday of Passover?
Okay. Well, there are many books and many stories. I'm going to try to do a short and sweet one just to give you a synopsis of what the holiday of Passover is. It's Pesach, and that's how you pronounce it, Pesach. This is the most cherished of Jewish holidays, the Festival of Freedom. It lasts 8 days. The first 2 and last 2 days are full holidays. The intermediate days are semi-holidays. Pesach commemorates Israel's dramatic deliverance from enslavement in Egypt over 3,200 years ago, as recounted in Exodus. On the evenings preceding the first and second nights of Passover, a great family Seder is held, and Seder means order of procedure. This combination banquet and religious service is the highlight of the holiday, and to many of the year. Since nothing containing leavening, or which has come in contact with a leavening agent, may be used during the festival, special china and utensils are set aside for the Passover week. On the table are symbolic foods commemorating events connected with Passover. The matzah, or unleavened bread, and you can get regular, organic, gluten-free, all sorts of versions, is a reminder of the haste in which the Israelites left Egypt without waiting for their bread to rise. Bitter herbs, marking the bitterness of slavery, a roasted egg and bones, symbolic of the offerings brought to the temple on this festival. And as an aside, if you're doing a vegan version of it, you could use, and there's matzah, you could use an avocado because it's a similar shape to an egg, and maybe a beet or a radish, something that might have a similar shape of a shank bone, but without using those types of items. Harosis, a mixture of chopped nuts, apples, cinnamon, and wine. And I did make a small batch of that for us.
Yay.
Representing the clay from which the Israelites made bricks while in slavery. And each setting has a wine glass. And the father half reclines at the head of the table, propped up on pillows or on a sofa. And this dramatizes, say that. Yeah, right. Freedom, yeah, easy for you to say. Freedom and ease. And by custom, guests are sought for a family Seder. Friends, neighbors, travelers are welcomed to the home to share in this gathering together. And that's pretty much a good summary of it. This is from the book called The Joys of Yiddish by Leo Rothstein. There's children's books, children's stories, and there's lots of other books that tell the story of Passover. And just to show you one other thing real quick, we talked about the Seder. Well, there's a Haggadah or Haggadah, depending on how you like to pronounce it. That is what you follow along for the Seder, the story, the procedure of each ritual thing that you do.
Ceremony.
The ceremony.
Ceremony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many different ones. This is the one that was produced by a rabbi. And these are the infamous Maxwell House Passover Haggadahs. There are ones designed for children. There are humanistic versions. There are many, many, many versions. And since I forgot to bring my Seder plate with me, I'll show you this page. That's what the Seder plate looks like, with little grooves for each item that belongs on the plate, and each thing in Hebrew. So that's your history lesson. And now, without any further ado, we'll get to
further ado.
Yes.
We can't have any more ado.
ado.
So let's see. Yes, we're going to make the matzo balls. And I just realized, trying to read this screen here, to share the screen. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to see if we can do that because I wanted to show the recipe. And is that what it says? Share screen?
Yes.
Let's see. Share screen. And I'm trying to find, let's see, whiteboard screen. No, okay, I don't see it yet. Let's take that off. And
I thought you had the recipe up.
well, it's on, let's see if I can make the screen here. And I know. Okay, so there it is there, but now we need to put it on the screen. Can we go back? Oh. No, cancel that. Okay, let's make this a little.
Welcome to the world of virtual technology.
There we go.
Yay.
Okay, share.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yay.
Yay.
And hopefully you can still see us well enough.
Figured it out. Yes, we can see us up there. So if you can see that, let's see if I can bring it up and down. Yes. So I found this recipe and it's by Liz Matson. And yeah, so we'll put her link in, but I thought it was a fairly simple one. And it's a lot of recipes you can convert to plant-based, traditional recipes, fairly easy. You usually substitute instead of an egg is a flax egg, which is just ground flax, flax seeds and add water, which we're going to do. So this one is actually a dedicated particular vegan matzo ball recipe. So let's get started. We'll just show you quickly the ingredients. It's fairly simple. Let's see, we've got, that's the soup. So we'll go down to the balls here. So matzo meal, and that basically, you can see how I've got it in the cup here. And matzo meal is kind of what it says. It's matzah ground into meal. So I didn't buy the can of it because it's really pricey. And what is it? It's ground up matzah. So what did I do? I took the,
Silence.
That's okay. Anyway, I just took a regular sheet of matzah and crushed it with my hands for a little bit. And then I put it in my blender.
Oh, okay.
And it made matzo meal. So that's kind of what I'm doing. All right. So we got matzo meal. We've got baking powder. Baking powder just adds, a little lightness to it, adds some air to it because we're not doing eggs. And then we've got a little bit of salt, and then the flax egg. So it's just a tablespoon of, there's the flax powder ground, and get my little tablespoon, which I didn't put in there. Okay, so how many tablespoons on that? It is 3. Oh, okay, thank you. Keeps me in line here, this girl. Okay, so
chef, right?
Yes, thank you. Flaxseed, and of course a little water, and then just a little
what's that?
warm water. Oh, that's good. That is coconut oil, and that's this recipe. They wanted to use tahini.
Oh yeah,
tahini. This is ground sesame seed paste. It's got a particular flavor, which mostly you use tahini in making your falafel or you're making your hummus. And personally, I just didn't care for that. So they do have some substitutes, and one of them was coconut oil.
Yeah.
So I just It's gonna get a little cool in there, but anyway, so I got the coconut oil. And
Yeah,
that's
because the flavor really comes from the soup.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna throw in the
And the
water for
only
the
thing about
flaxseed.
it, the original recipe that's not vegan is the egg. So by substituting the flax, that's what makes it a vegan recipe.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Crazy. And actually it doesn't say on the main recipe here, but further down in like additions, which is you can add either like some dried parsley or oregano. And I think that would give it a little flavor. So I do
The
have
matzo balls
some-
themselves. Yeah.
I have a little bit of, actually this is
Yeah,
oregano.
that would be good. Yeah.
I put a little bit of that in
the
too.
matzo balls. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Do we tell horror stories about matzo balls?
if you have a horror story, but
It's a fine art making matzo balls. If
Yeah.
they're too lumpy,
oh, that's good.
too hard, or just it's like Goldilocks and Three Bears. Too soft, too hard, just right. And you want to make them nice and round.
If you mess with them too much, it's like if you mix too much, I guess you lose the air out of it and it becomes very dense. And that's why if you've ever had matzo balls that are just like golf balls, literally, and they're hard, not fun. They're tasty, but they're not good. They're supposed to be very light.
Yeah, not
So,
rubbery. Yeah.
Hopefully with the addition of the baking powder and we don't, you know, mess with it too much.
Yeah, and you can make them really little, or
yeah, because they actually do puff up a little bit
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the cooking. And the cooking is, we don't bake these. These are actually cooked in the soup itself. And it takes about half an hour. We are not going to sit and while we're cooking the matzo balls. So we'll get to that point and we should be good to go. So how about we just start putting it
Yeah,
together because
alright.
we want to just keep this
Get going,
going here,
yeah.
keep it interesting. So, all right, how much you be the mixer?
Okay.
And I'm going to just add the ingredients. and
Slowly
just-
this time.
Slowly? Was it too fast last?
Well, we made the
Well, let's not talk.
the
let's not talk about it.
Hamantaschen, yeah. This is only our second demo
It's our
together.
second video. And so with the, I'm actually just putting 1 cup of the matzo meal because the recipe says 2, but we're going to be eating these after and it would make a lot.
Yeah.
We'd be eating them all day.
If you're expecting a big crowd for your whole Seder, then you want to make a lot.
Right. So, so we're going to just do the baking, well, the dry ingredients. So
Yes.
that's the matzo meal. We're going to do the baking powder, which was, because I'm cutting in half, so it's 1.5 teaspoons, but the recipe is 3. And then we put a little bit of salt, which I think, yeah, less than 3/4 of a teaspoon, it says. And I'm kind of one of those cooks that sometimes when it's seasoning, I don't really measure. I just kind of go, oh, that looks very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
To
that's,
taste, right?
yes. So let's see. I'm trying to see. Okay, we've done the dry, and now we're going to add the water, the flax, egg, and the oil.
Okay.
There we go. So,
Oil first or flax first?
well, we can do the flax, and here we go. And then we're going to put in the oil. And the water.
How much water?
Well, again, I'm having it because
Right,
that's the
right.
recipe. The full recipe is 1 1/4. So I've got
Get it in there so it doesn't
yeah.
get lumpy.
Okay, so then what happens, it's going to be kind of mushy and won't be good to roll with our hands. So it's going to need to go in the refrigerator for about half an hour.
Just the batter itself. Before we roll it.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and if it's a little dry, we could add a little bit more.
It's just getting caught in the whisk.
Are you ready for this? We want it whisk free.
Whisk free?
Risk-free.
Oh, risk-free. Bada boom.
A little bit more?
Yeah.
Why not?
Of course, we will be working it, you know, kneading it, whatever.
Okay, remember, you don't want to do this too much, so
Oh, okay.
quit. Stop.
Okay.
Stop now. All right, let's show people what it looks like. See that? Okay, it's kind of a little crumbly. Anyway, so that needs to kind of set in the fridge, and then we're going to roll it into little balls. So let's see what happens. We're going to put it in the fridge a half an hour, and a half an hour just went by like that. Look,
How beautiful.
we've already got some balls already rolled. They've been in the fridge.
And you just, you know, it's just hand, you know.
Yeah, very easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like making meatballs.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're about a size of golf ball size.
Yeah, kind of golf balls, right?
Yeah. So there you have it. What else?
And the type of matzah used is whole wheat or?
No, I just used this was Trader Joe's.
Okay.
Plain, regular, nothing fancy. I think this would work with just about any matzah you have or matzah meal.
And you can buy the pre-made matzah meal.
Yes,
if
you
you
can buy a
wish,
can
yeah.
of matzah meal. Most people do. I'm just that kind of person.
Oh, that's okay. No,
Yeah.
it's better to do it from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's next. And then that goes into the soup. Usually have some broth and cooking or your soup.
And we have vegan vegetable broth. So, you know, chicken broth or anything like that. And that's the pre-made broth. Like that's probably also Trader Joe's or Costco. And I pre-cooked into the broth some chopped up carrots, celery, and onions, just to add a little bit of flavor and substance to it. But that's a pretty standard recipe, and the broth itself has seasonings and flavors. And really, as Malka said, the matzo balls are the star of the show. So we don't want the soup to overpower it, but we want it to give it some, what they call it, I don't know. Now, I don't know if you grew up with this word or not. My mom would always say tom. I don't know if that's a Yiddish word or not, but it's like
Tom means flavor, taste.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
You know what I meant, all right. Cool.
I do.
Yeah,
I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Yiddish. So these little cuties are going to go in the soup, and it takes about 30 minutes. So figure 30 minutes in the fridge, make the balls, and then about 30 minutes in the soup, and then you should be ready to enjoy them.
Yeah, and you know, just picture in a Jewish home having the Passover Seder and preparing all the different foods for it. And you've got the matzo ball soup cooking, and trying to think what other types of dishes you have. Is it in the picture? I'm going to show you real quick.
What's in the fridge? Oh, she's going to show you something else. Hang in. We have a little surprise.
Matzo ball soup isn't something that you generally have on a regular occasion. It's usually special with Passover.
I wait all year.
Yeah.
I have my matzah and my matzah balls, so it makes special.
And this is charosis. And this is the
Charosis.
yeah, it's the you have to get that guttural sound.
CHAROSET.
I think charosis. Yeah,
it's Hebrew.
It's yeah,
mixed.
And that represents the mortar. So it's apples, walnuts. You usually use red wine, or you can use a non-alcohol type thing like grape juice or something else like that. Honey, I don't use honey. I use agave, and a little cinnamon, nutmeg.
Wow.
So that's what we'll have. We might have some of this to hold us over while we're waiting for the matzah to cook.
Okay.
Matzo ball soup.
Well, there we have it. So enjoy. Let us know in the comments if you made this recipe, and thanks for watching.
Yes, and we will be converting this to a YouTube link, and we will share it so that it can be viewed at a later time for those of you who are not able to join us today. And as we say at Passover, Chag Pesach. Sameach.
You can tell we didn't practice
That
that.
right?
I usually say Chag Sameach. I'm saying
Sameach,
Chag
Chag Pesach Sameach.
which means happy
Happy
Passover.
Passover holiday.
Yeah. So thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for joining us.
Bye now.
Bye.